Now, it is one of the most prestigious music awards available in Britain. When the winner of this year's Mercury Prize is announced in a few hours' time, it'll recognise what the judges decide is the best album of the year. This year's list, featuring artists ranging from 19-year-old Jake Bugg to 67-year-old David Bowie, has been called the most mainstream ever. But in an age when most playlists are made by the listener, what value does an album still have? Our culture and digital editor Paul Mason now reports.
When a rock band says we're making an album, this is what it used to mean. At the Vinyl Factory, the remains of a once giant EMI pressing plant, the workforce and production runs are small. This is a niche market for deluxe versions or diehards. The rest of the musical world is digital. This is what a piece of vinyl looks like before it's pressed into an album. It's actually hot. No, albums only exist because 60 years ago we worked out how to put 12 tracks onto one of these instead of just one. But we don't need this technology anymore, so why do we need albums? Well, first, because traditions die hard. For tonight's Mercury shortlisted artists, the album is released as a kind of flagship for other stuff, live performances, chart singles, videos. But as they strut their stuff, they know the world beyond the recording studio has changed dramatically and fast. In London's Shoreditch, where the internet is the new rock and roll, they monitor our music consumption in real time. They're measuring whose songs are played on Spotify, on SoundCloud, which bands are being liked on Facebook.
There's definitely still a place for albums, but there's a huge consumption of tracks now, and places like YouTube, Vivo, Spotify, people make playlists. So what we're seeing is sort of an album as very, very well curated playlist by the artist, I suppose. But people are making their own playlists on Spotify and similar services and kind of consuming them in the same way that previously people would have consumed albums.
It seems now we're all curators, as hipster beards came in, listening to a whole album at once went out. Mercury shortlisted band Foals are now on their third album, but their social media stats tell a story of instant success not obvious from any chart. A month ago, their fan base spiked tenfold according to these metrics, all driven by traffic on the website SoundCloud.
You see a lot of fans that maybe aren't necessarily a fan of the band, but they like a song. And that happens a lot more now because there's a lot more sharing, it's a lot easier to access music. We see that often an artist will be promoting a song or a track on all the different sources they can, because there's not really the concept of an album on these things like YouTube and Vivo. It's just the video or the song.
So, like the motet, the sonata or the fugue, it may be that the 12-track album's heyday is over. But those who lived through it have a right to feel lucky.
We were still producing Beatles albums. I think Let It Be album was being produced when I started. I personally believe that it's more user-friendly too. It's nice just to move the...
You can pick your tracks by moving the stylus.
Yeah, I know you can do it automatically, but it's lovely to see it and you just drop it down where you want it to play.
Shattered in 1,000 pieces.
Some things, though, are still the same as in the stylus era. We put every song from every album in tonight's awards into a word cloud, and it turns out the old obsessions with love and loss loom as large as ever.
Stumbling through the sky.